Hey, welcome to the iPad Apps First Look channel, and we are continuing video number 2 of the iOS 7 update on the phone on this iPhone 5. So downloading took about 40 minutes, which is a lot. Half of it was kind of saying downloading, and the other half was saying preparing update. While it would still say download at the bottom, but it took overall about 40 minutes before I came up with this screen, the screen with the little apple there and the update progression bar. So at this time the phone is updating itself. It's been like that now for about 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, I would say about 4 minutes. So we'll time the update and see how long actually it takes here. Basically the iPhone 5 is probably going to update faster than an iPhone 4 or 4S, because it does have a faster processor and a faster way of actually working. I would generally expect, if you have, for example, an iPad that has the same processor as the iPhone 5, which is the latest generation, or the latest generation iPod Touch, would probably update basically pretty much on the same speed as my iPhone 5 would. If you have an iPhone 4, iPhone 4S, it should be considerably slower, it's always, you know, a little bit of time before we actually see what it's going to look like. Maybe you've seen the pictures on the web. You could, of course, download a gold master if you wanted off the web, which was a way to actually update the phone before everyone else. I chose the regular route because I wanted to show and let everybody see how it's done actually. So like I said, 2 ways to download. You can download the update via iTunes, plug in your phone to your computer and update over there. I chose to update directly in the phone without using iTunes. I never use iTunes on my PC, computer, or my Mac. I just find it's kind of a little horrible little program, and actually it's a really bloated out program, so I didn't want to, you know, download anything like that. So we are now at about 6 minutes into the update, so it's roughly not far from being halfway into the update, and we'll see if afterwards, after it shuts off and turns back on, if everything is going to work as it should. I was watching some websites with basically forums and discussion groups about the iOS 7 update. Lots and lots of people complaining that the update is going halfway through and then stops and restarts, and they've been having a lot of problem. From what most people say, pretty much everybody agrees that if your iPhone stopped in the middle of the update and had to start it all over again, that there's a good chance that the problem comes from Apple servers, and that in the coming days, when things will basically quiet down, it should be better. So if it doesn't work the first time, you know, try it again. And hopefully, depending on the config of your iPhone, I hope that you won't have a bricked iPhone 5. Keep in mind that if your iPhone 5 fails the update, doesn't work at all, there's a way to actually reset the phone back to its original system, and it's basically by holding power button and the home button while it's plugged in with iTunes, you should eventually fall into what's called a recovery mode, and there you'll be able to use iTunes on any computer to reset your iPhone back to its default state. Once again, if you want to download your iOS 7 for your phone, your iPad, or your iPod Touch, you really need to be on Wi-Fi. It doesn't work on LTE or 3G. And it is a big update, 752 megabytes, so you don't want to download that over LTE or 3G probably, especially for a lot of people. Here in Canada, our plans are just so cheap. We have, I have a 6 gigabyte plan, but most people will have like 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabyte plans, and so even if they could, it would not be a really good idea to use almost all of your data usage just for an update. So that's why you have to download it somewhere on a basically on a Wi-Fi connection. So what's the phone doing right now? Basically what it's doing is first of all, it's kind of taking everything, the apps, the information you had in your phone, it's putting it somewhere in memory, and it's installing iOS 7 fresh new copy before it's going to import everything back. It works a little bit if you have a Mac and you've updated your OS 10 operating system, and you've seen an option called archive and install. It's pretty much the same type of installation in your iPhone or your iOS device. It really takes everything, puts it somewhere in memory where it won't be touched. It installs this operating system, and then it imports back all your user files, data, apps into your iPhone. So things are going well, and we're now at a little more than 10 minutes, and we're about 75% from what I see here. Looks like 75% through. Things have been going smoothly. I downloaded once, took about half an hour to 35 minutes to download, didn't start over. It sometimes gave me the impression that it had stopped, but it didn't. I was watching it every 5 minutes or so. It was progressing, so in my case, no restart of download or anything went wrong. Seems like everything is going well at this time. Let's hope so, because this is my main phone. If it crashes on me, I won't have any phone and we'll have to actually go in recovery mode, which I hope will not be the case. I've never had any iOS device actually crash on me while I was doing a update, so I don't think I don't think here it should be that much of a problem either. But everybody's phone has a different way, a different config, different apps, so you really need to be careful, because such a big update can go wrong. And I'm sure that as we're showing you this, some of you out there are probably doing it and saying, well, mine went really bad. So if you had a bad experience with your iOS update, I'd like to hear from you, to leave your comments on below the video to let us know that maybe it went bad or it went well for you. So let us know. We'll try to see how many people had it going wrong. In case you're wondering what's the little part that's here, is my case. I'm leaving it in my battery case so that it doesn't actually miss any batteries while it's updating. And if we look, we're really almost all the way through the install progression here. So it's gonna be interesting to see how much time it took for the update itself. Once that's done, it's probably gonna shut down and restart again. And so hopefully we'll be into iOS 7 in a few minutes. Now if you have an old iPhone 3, 3G, you cannot install iOS 7, it's not compatible. It's only compatible if you have an iPod Touch. Only the latest iPod Touch will have iOS 7. All the other versions of iPod Touch cannot install iOS 7, which is kind of a little downer here. And the iPad, the only iPad that does not accept iOS 7 is the original iPad. So if you have iPad 2 or better. So here it just started after 14 minutes of installing. So let's see what it's looking like. Are we going to be in iOS 7 in a few minutes or a few seconds? Who knows? Oh, here we get a second progression. So if you see this, probably is okay. We are now back into a second progression. So install is probably continuing. I would say that probably what it did first is put everything away, install, and now it's possibly importing back all the data on that second pass. Much faster pass though. Here we are, continuing again. This one was quite quick. Keep in mind, if you're updating your phone, you need to have lots of space left. So if you only have a 16 gig phone, like I do, this one is the 16 gigabyte. Keep in mind that it really needs to and here we go. Hello, slide to setup. And so here we go, slide to setup. Okay, you enter the passcode. So you see that the passcode was swiping from left to right. I had this welcome screen. I slipped here, entering my passcode. And here, update complete. Continue. You have to reinstall. No, the Wi-Fi is pretty good. Next. Enable location services. Yep, no problem. Well, it will ask me for my iTunes password, which I'm now going to enter. And next. And here we go. It's updating iCloud. Find my iPhone in iOS 7. Yep. Welcome to phone. Get started. And here we are. So here we go. Spotlight is moved. Searching iPhone is easier than ever in iOS 7. Swipe down from any home screen to access. Can Siri help you? Siri and location are now available in English. Press and hold the home button for Siri. And basically here we are, and look at this revamped iOS 7 here screen. We can see that the bottom icons are not different. If I double press, does it work? Google would like to access the microphone. Okay. So here we have these pages. So lots of stuff going on here. The different pages. If I double press here, I've got some stuff here. We'll really need to get used to that new operating system from what I see. Hello, Siri.
Hi.
Siri is much better. You see now it's transparent, so you can see the background, the icons in your background. Pretty cool. What is iOS 7?
Apple.com should be able to answer that question, and more.
That's quite nice, actually. So we'll see if they actually made Siri better. The icons are much more colorful here. If we look at photos and stuff, you see the icon for the photo, which is kind of a colorful flower. The bottom icons are different for mail and everything. So now we have new ways of actually having new functions here, as you can see. So all inbox, everything is different, very white, as you see. It's kind of, the fonts are different. Interesting. The sound has been different. You see that the effects of how you go in and out of apps is different. More animation stuff. If we go into the settings, which is now much of really a revamped icon here. Settings are here. Really interesting to see all of that. General, software update, background app refresh. What is that? Background app refresh allows to refresh the content when on Wi-Fi or cellular. Okay, that's interesting. Really an interesting little new way of watching things here. Fonts are different. The apps are still there, most apps. Wallpaper and brightness. Now there probably are some new wallpapers here. Choose wallpaper. Okay, now you can use photo screen, camera roll, my panoramas, dynamic. Let's try one of those colorful dynamic ones. Blue. Set. Let's put it set into the home screen and set into the lock screen. What does it look like? Here's what it looks like. The background is actually moving, as you can see. If I shut down and turn it back on, this is what it looks like. You slide to unlock, and you see that instead of having a slider, it moves the screen. Enter the passcode once again, and here everything's coming like from a 3D perspective. So we'll have another video about iOS 7 showing you actually reviewing it, and I'll be using it now for a few hours and actually making a review that I'll put online. So hopefully your iOS update went as good and as easily as mine. And let's play with this a little bit, and we'll come back with a review of iOS 7, and also we'll have tips and tricks on the different features and how they work now with your new iOS 7 device. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe to our channel, and if you have any comments or questions, maybe you updated your device, it went well, it went bad, let us know. We want to know what you think of iOS 7, how it did go for you, and hope you come back to the iPad Apps First Look channel. Bye bye.